Sorry, it's late on this one, guys. As you're for watching the video right now, you 1,000%. See, the technical difficulties that just won't go away no matter what I do. So busy with that and stuff. But today we're going to talk about something that took the world, the country at least, by storm after it happened. You want the scare details that we knew, because we didn't really know anything until now, and the veracity of everything once it happened, like, and was discovered, was the Moscow, Idaho college student murders. And like that was a crazy, like one of the really crazy things was, these murders. And one day just I don't remember what the hell I was just scrolling through. It doesn't want to work, whatever. But it kept scrolling through and like just going through the channels and suddenly bang, there it was. I don't know what the is that. It was one of those moments, and they didn't know anything, and they kept not knowing anything for the longest time. And I do, have to give them credit for if they did know anything and not putting it out there to the public right away. Because you know, don't give up what you know. But the blood oozing down the side of the house between the siding, and it's just strange, the damnedest thing, really. And then it went cold, and no one heard anything for the longest time again because they weren't letting too much out, and I'm fully okay with that. I understand why. It was really quiet, minus the one girl's father making statements, and he had the right to. I'd be pissed too if I was him, and that happened, and they still had nothing. So I fully understand why he was, the way he was, and he was making statements out there. But just a crazy, crazy thing, and there was just so many rumors. And Walter thought that he dumped his car across the street from, the crackheads, over yonder. Turns out that wasn't true, but it was freaky timing for it to happen. And then after weeks of nothing, suddenly they find him in Albrightsville, back in my neck of the woods, at least close enough to my neck of the woods. And now we finally have all kinds of stuff because they started releasing paperwork, which thank God they did. But Albrightsville, like I was right up there when all that happened. That's crazy, but they got him. NPA has been extradited back. I'm not trying to keep all the graphic, bloody details out of it, with the amount of stabbings, stabs and all of that, just, for the family's sake. They'll never hear this, but, they don't need to have that going out there. That's not what I'm doing here. It's not the purpose of this. So I ain't doing it. So you can deal with it. But you're going to get some of the stuff, some things that we know, some things we didn't know, my thoughts on it all. Again, I read the whole report, but I'm not going to, through all the, every detail on here, because I don't want to think you guys want to sit here for 9.5 years listening to it, but might be some graphic stuff in there. It's absolutely nuts. But on we go with all of this. Koberger, at least I'm pretty sure, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, he was currently a PhD student at Washington State University in criminology and lived in Pullman, Washington. And he also even applied to, try to get an internship or something with the police, before all this happened there, which is a crazy wrinkle in it all. I mean, you see it happen every once in a while, but I think they was trying to get involved in there. Who knows why, or the real intentions, or maybe that was really just, something that he really wanted to do, is he was getting a PhD, for Christ's sake, in criminology. It's just really crazy to think that he was doing school for that. He tried to get in there, and then this happens. But we do see things like this happen throughout history and time, just like my camera not working since she dropped the damn thing. Wink, wink. Oh, look at that beautiful face if you're watching this. I'm sorry. There, turn it off again. But yeah, crazy to think that he was doing that. And he drove around the area several times before the time of the murders. And there are both cell phone pings and video of the suspected vehicle, as they call it, up in the area. They have lots of footage of that around the time of it. And then I'm coming back. Like they found it really, quick what they needed. And again, the middle, there's not a lot of traffic, it stands out with all of that, but to use the pings to see how much he was there, no, that's the thing no one knows is this thing right here. Pick it up. It's not like you can see it because the camera's dumb. But phones, man, phones are the things that get you, and it drops off like you can tell exactly where you are right away at all times. And that's really, they used that and took advantage of that technology to figure out where he was, but he did seemingly turn his phone off for a 2 hour window around the time of the murder, which were reported to happen between the hours of 4 and 4:25 a.m. As the one girl was still said to be on TikTok until at least 4:14 a.m. And one of them got a DoorDash delivery at 4 a.m., which is still amazing that you found someone to deliver you anything at 4 a.m. It's kind of cool, actually, when you think about it. But what happened after the fact, and again, it's really just weird stuff. And we can't forget that there was also the one girl that said someone was stalking her, for months, and cell phone pings, and all of that, and come from all that. Like it's a bigger, longer, thing than anyone thinks when you put all of it together. And we're trying to find motives ourselves. We haven't heard anything. We're not gonna hear anything, but just try to put pieces together. The stalking thing, then leading like that would make sense. It all makes sense to me. I mean, the act doesn't make any sense to most of us, but that part, that stalking, what we've seen it turn violent before. Can't think of their name. It's baffling me right now, but got killed outside her front door in like LA or something. I like stalking can turn terrible, and if that was part of it, then it explains, some of this. And the one roommate was awake during it. Said she heard someone say there's someone in the house. I heard it sound like her dog. The roommate upstairs playing with her dog, crying. And neighbor picked up on the camera, apparently crying a loud thud, I believe it was. They said that they heard on there. And the crazy thing is, though, that roommate said the suspect, walked right by her when he was exiting the house, clad in black, bushy eyebrows, and she had the height down to, it's only off by 2 inches, which means she for sure, for definitely real, saw the man when he left, because eyebrows and what to see that and remember that when this is all you could see, what she saw him. And so good on her to have that, that she did it by being there. My big question is, why then wait like around 8 hours to call 911 after he walks by you and you go and lock yourself in your bedroom? Like, I won't understand waiting 8 hours to do that. Call me whatever you will, but that part just, I'm not even saying it, I'm saying it in a way, because there's gonna be people saying, well, you're saying she's part of it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, though, I mean, they could have not, someone could have not been dead, even though I'm pretty sure it's proven that they were. But for 8 hours, like that's a chance of anything, which is just really the worst part about it. And still makes you puzzled as to why he didn't go after her too after he killed everyone else there. But like, why did she get to live? Again, a lot of weird things. And sadly, I don't think we're going to get a lot of answers to it because of the gag order. We'll get to that. But the 8 hours thing is just, weird. I get traumatized and all that, and say, and believe the 911 call, and they called, said someone was passed out. Like, no, they were all dead. Like, it's weird. And again, I'm not saying anything like she had any part of it. Just saying, I wish we knew the answers about, all of it, and behind it all, try to make sense out of a senseless act. And through it all, it's amazing that we got him because of the DNA on the knife sheath that he left behind, with the EGA on it, USMC, one of those, he left that behind. That, that's how they got him. And then they led that down, breadcrumbs to family, this, that, and everything. And got to where we are now, where he's in custody. It's just, with everything else that he did, it's just, I think that the sheath would be left behind. Like, that's just, I don't know, maybe it seems weird to me. It doesn't sound like the way that he went through all this, but excuse me. That's how they got him. He was careless and he left that behind and back onto the stalking thing. His cell phone at least 12 times in the months leading up to it, in the late evening and early mornings pinged around that same exact area, going back to the stalking thing, which is why that makes, you know, that part of it, let me say, makes sense. If he was, stalking her and all of that, like him being there like that, you know, does make that whole theory have a lot more sense to it. So, I mean, I'm sure we'll know, but what good would it does it do now? But I mean, solace for families or something that could do. But again, like we've all seen it. Look it up. I mean, stalkers kill people, you know, all the time. It works out terribly. So that was the case. It makes it even, worse. But positive note, they did get him. And there's a bunch of things that we still want to know. Like who was the intended target of the attack and why? Again, stalking. Was there just something else? Was it you went ooh and like it just went your head and fixated on that one spot? Like, what was it? Who was it? What was the intent behind it? People want to know answers. Not, families want to know the answers. Never mind me. But the families deserve to, know all of that and why, it happened. And there's always a reason, no matter what it is. There's always a reason as to why, no matter how bad most of those reasons are, there's always a why. And people deserve to know. Why wait 8 hours to call 911? Again, that just seems odd to me. Could just be me. But you walked by, we let you live, you heard all that, like, and you wait another 8 hours to call 911 or anything. Like, we could have got a super jump start on things that then didn't happen. Which, I get it being traumatized. There's people that sit there and wait for forever. You only saw them. I mean, there's no altercation. So, again, I'm not judging. I'm just saying, why? Where did we wait 8 hours to do it? Because think of the help that could have happened in that amount of time if there was a chance to do it. That's all I'm saying. Or anyone goes and accuses me and saying that she's part of it or anything. Not saying that. Saying that doesn't make sense to me. And there's so many more questions that we're gonna get, and so many few answers. But that's not me complaining, because sooner or later it'll all come out. When everything's said and done, and everyone will be able to have a big conversation about it and know all the facts. And I respect Leave was a judge. I put in the gag order so that no one, anyone can talk about anything. So, so it doesn't happen, all the stuff going before trial and all that other stuff, so they don't get to hear anything. And I think they should do it more often. There are some details that should come out, but there's a lot that shouldn't. Save that for trial and let it all come out then. So, the public interest doesn't get skewed, or their opinion or anything, from just all being bombarded by so much bullshit. And if you ever go on the news or anything, guess what? There's a lot of bullshit just here, there, and everywhere about all of it. And then how are you going to get anyone that doesn't actually know anything about it? So, I think it's release what you can, but keep the rest close to the cuff, because I bet so much of the stupid would go away if these people just couldn't just run their sputum about it. Sure, TV people can, but if you're not hearing anything coming from anyone, you're not allowed to get any information from any of them. That should make it a lot easier to have less stupid. And whenever that stuff comes out, I'll be right here. Again, wigged out by it, intrigued by it, but whenever it comes out, we will know it's and we'll figure out why this heinous thing ever even happened, because it's still, I just wanted to make, at least hear the excuse as to how it somehow makes sense. But thanks for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to share it out. And I'm out. Peace.